Hey, welcome back, YouTube. It's Thursday, November 9th, 7:09 p.m. And yeah, an incident just happened that is notably worse, at least I think so, than the time I hit the safety barrier and punctured the tire on the SUV. I don't feel I should disclose any details about it yet. I'm not directly involved, at least not in any way where I can be in trouble for anything, and that's a relief. Of course, if I was in control of the vehicle, what happened would have never happened, because I'm a lot more cautious about that kind of shit. But I was there, and I'm not looking forward to the potential of them asking me questions. I really don't want to answer any questions. I was in the passenger seat, buckling up my seatbelt. I think the whole thing is being investigated right now. I asked Jesse, I said, this looks like it's going to take a while. How about I just go and organize the gatekeeper and the maintenance line? And he said, yeah, that's fine. So I don't know if they're going to ask me to fill out an incident report or not. I really hope not. Wow. I'm in a Nissan right now, and I can't figure out how to turn on either the light or the car. All right, there we go. You know, up until the point that shit happened, which I may decide to talk about later, it had been a really cool, chill sort of night. And I finally got offered some more work through Winolo. It's Friday and Saturday. I'm going to be finally getting to work those shifts. I was looking forward to working at Factor. I believe the pay has been reduced. At least it's not as much as I used to make working those same shifts at HelloFresh Production. But it's still a decent amount of money, and I'm looking forward to it. It should be enough to push me over the edge of making ends meet for this month. Which doesn't mean I don't want to find any more work over the forthcoming weekends throughout this month, but at least some of the pressure is off right now. Hey, so it's still Thursday the 2nd. It's 8:10 p.m. Steve got sent home, and I'm not too surprised by that. I just realized as I was coming out the gate into the parking lot that Poindexter was taking his lunch break in his big red pickup truck. And that would look super awkward if I just kept walking towards him, talking to myself with the phone. So I decided I better shut that down for a moment. So sorry for the awful view in the dark. I've actually got the phone resting on the stuffed monkey backpack thing that I found yesterday. I was down to 9% on my phone, and yeah, the iPhone charging cord I have in the car right now works great, but it doesn't reach to the windshield mount. Got quite a bit on my mind right now, and I figure I should record it while it's still there. I will be very surprised if Steve still has a job here. Man, this is two new people for maintenance that didn't even make it through the first night. Oh yeah, and by the way, the Jeremy kit that I mentioned last week, I found out when I was working with Steve on Tuesday. So I got to think about it. Tuesday and Wednesdays my days, or Tuesdays and Thursdays are my days with Steve. Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, my days rolling alone. I'm over at 16th Street in Buckeye right now, and I'm noticing that on the corner, the southeast corner, adjacent to where Avis's lot is that there's a Lime scooter. It's got a red light on it. It's not very often I see Lime scooters over here, so even more interesting to see one with a red light. So I got my EBT card on, I think I got it yesterday. Went out to my mailbox to see if it showed up, and it did. And I didn't use it yesterday because I thought I would have to do a whole reactivation thing and whatnot. And I didn't have time to look over the paperwork on it. I looked over the paperwork with it just before I came to work this afternoon. And at first I was seeing all this stuff where you need to go to this website or call a 1-800 number. And I'm like, oh, great, that's going to be a pain in the ass. And then I noticed in smaller print down below that it said, if this is a replacement card, just continue to use your old PIN number. So, yay, it's ready to go. It was ready to go yesterday. Which is a good thing because I'm pretty much out of easily prepared and eaten food at this point. Not that I'm out of everything, I'm out of bread, and all the stuff I have that's suitable for making sandwiches is just sort of not so great without bread. I did find a box of crackers, half-eaten box of Triscuits that I forgot I had last night, so I ate that with some of that pepper jack cheese that the guy gave me a while back from Trader Joe's. It's really good cheese, but it's like a small brick of cheese, and I'm the guy that just needs everything pre-sliced and pre-cut, individually wrapped. It's not like I'm not capable of cutting cheese, but I just won't. And pretty much the only thing that prompted me to do it last night was there was really not much else to eat. So anyway, I'm pretty hungry. I feel really bad about Steve, and I feel really bad about the new guy, David. I don't think he was even with us for 30 minutes. And David looked Indian, dot, not feather. Didn't have the accent, though. He looked like somebody who would have the accent, but he didn't have it. Also looked super old and frail. And not everybody at that age looks frail, but this guy really looked frail. And when I saw, I'd heard earlier today, I've been rolling with Steve since pretty much the beginning of the day, and Keontae, but Keontae bails out roughly an hour after I get there. Jesse had come over when we were over by the smoking tent, just right at the end of retail and wholesale. And Jesse had come over, and Steve sometimes just goes over there and parks and just sits. I'm not one to really just go to places and park and sit like that, but if I'm riding shotgun with Steve, I don't really have any choice in where Steve goes. I'm just kind of along for the ride, so I'm not in charge of Steve. In fact, interestingly enough, they recently gave him a yellow vest, and I'm still wearing an orange one. Generally speaking, a yellow vest is indicative of lead. I don't think that's what it is. I don't think they actually made him a lead or anything. I think that was the only vest that they had for him, and he was, prior to that, wearing a trainee vest. And prior to him coming back, he worked at MLS for a decade, so he's by no means a trainee. But yeah, Jesse had come over and said that we would be having a trainee soon, that he was going to drive around a bit and show him some stuff, and then put him with us so we could teach him how maintenance worked. He'd be a maintenance driver. So he was and I asked him, well, was he going to be here with me on Sunday? Because when I really, Steve and I are borderline bored tonight, but when I really need help is Sunday. And then Steve was also like, yeah, well, I need help Friday and Saturday. Actually, Saturday. Steve doesn't work Friday, so I need help. Steve said he needs help Saturday. Well, come and find out, I guess the guy's regular schedule was going to be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I think. I highly doubt he'll be coming back. I question if the guy will be able to work after this accident. I think his ankle got messed up really bad, and it's something that a younger person, probably would have just shook off and went back to work. But I mean, this guy, his name was David, and I'm not good at guessing ages, but the first two words that come to mind when I think of him is old and frail. And it makes me sad when I see somebody who looks old and frail working a job like this, because it kind of tells me that they have to work. And nobody who's old and frail should have to work. I feel like society is failing. People who are old and frail have to work. Anyway, depending on how things go after this incident, he might not have to work anymore. He was on the phone with somebody when we went back to where leadership was, and he was asking, what the name of the company was he was working for, and what the name of the rental car company was. I'm like, wow, it sounds like they're getting ready to lawyer up. Oh, damn. I just really hope I'm not asked to give a statement. I just don't want to have to. So I'm at the Fry's downtown, by the way. Get a loaf of bread and some other things. I'm going to try to be quick here because I want a little bit of time to sit and chill on my brain. Planning on going to Priscilla's place tonight. She needs me to drive her to some kind of medical appointment tomorrow. And she didn't directly say it, but she certainly hinted strongly that some adult playtime was on the menu for tonight, and I would be very happy when I got there. So I'm eager to see what that means. Although after a night at work, I almost just want to go home and be alone and decompress. Things like this just don't. I don't deal well with this kind of tenseness and stress. I don't know. See what happens in the coming days. As for Jeremy, the guy from last week that I was mentioning that was pretty much worthless, apparently right after we pulled over and kicked him out of the shag and had him get in the van, whoever was in the van just immediately noticed that kid wasn't right, and some kind of supervisor just fired him on the spot. I don't know if they just assumed he was on drugs. Maybe he was just really tired. I don't know. But whatever the situation was, he was in no shape to be moving motor vehicles.